Hello, welcome to Portland Public Schools Safety Training for Athletic Events during limited in-person instruction. Today we will go over some of the health and safety guidelines to help ensure staff and student safety during your event. Understanding the safety plan associated with your event and know your role in that plan. Also, familiarize yourself with the site you are located at. Know where the main office or point of entry into the building is in case of an emergency, and know who to contact in an emergency. Campus security agents may be assigned to your event. If so, know who they are and how to connect with them. Understand the campus security agent's role. Their primary role is to ensure the safety of the staff, community, and building during the event. Now is an important time to remember the health and safety around COVID-19 as well as the cold and flu season. Know when to stay home and make sure each staff member is doing the self-screening checklists prior to coming to the event. Ensure that everyone knows when to stay home and to contact your direct supervisor and a medical professional regarding any potential symptoms. What is an emergency? Common definition of emergency is a serious, unexpected, and often dangerous situation requiring immediate attention. Some items to consider regarding with an emergency are the following. First, de-escalation. If able, staff or CSAs will attempt to de-escalate any situation. Try to remember to remain calm, show active listening, be empathetic and non-judgmental. Respect personal space and ignore any challenging questions. When safe to do so, proper de-escalation techniques can decrease the emotional, physical, and mental stress level of a situation by only using verbal and nonverbal de-escalation techniques. This response can often facilitate the direction of an encounter toward a more practical and appropriate resolution. There are a few key factors to help ensure the safety of your event. Having a safety plan, as well as knowing it and practicing that safety plan, both physically or mental reps, are very important. Also, maintaining situational awareness. Situational awareness allows you to collect information from your surroundings to make better decisions. Things that you see or hear that don't appear normal, sounds that don't sound like normal sounds, whether it's laughter or screaming or yelling. Having situational awareness allows you to understand what's going on and helps you further investigate those sounds or sights. These emergency actions are associated with school buildings, but can also be applied with your athletic event. Lockdown, lockout, evacuation, earthquake, team response, and shelter in place are the examples shown here. If there is an emergency situation that happens at your event, what would be your best response? Would your best response be to evacuate, to move students and staff from one location to another? And how would you do this? Also, where would you go? Since your events are outdoors, an evacuation may look like going into a building. Evacuation the unsafe situation that is outside, and bringing the students inside to a safer location where they can be secured and eventually reunited with family. How would that look, and what is everyone's role? What would you do in a medical emergency? Is non-threatening incident that requires staff to control movement? Who's going to be calling 911? Who will be staying with the victim or the injured person? If it's a student, who is responsible for contacting the parent or guardian? All these roles are very important to have identified prior to an event. So when the event and the stress happens, those have already been identified and people already know and can begin to act. So, how can you prepare? Again, using situational awareness and understanding of option-based decision making will help you prepare for any situation that might happen. Accept that an event could happen and you won't prepare for what you cannot conceive. Develop a plan ahead of time using real-world events and think about your options. Know how to activate an emergency if one were to occur. If you find yourself inside of a school building, familiarize yourself with the activation on the VoIP phones. If you want further information or training how to activate a VoIP emergency phone, please contact Security Services. Have an understanding of a fire alarm, fire extinguisher, emergency exits. Understanding of all those prior to an event will help tremendously. And like always, if you feel that there is an emergency situation, call 911. Immediately get all first responders heading to that area to help assist with the emergency. So to summarize, know what your plan is, know what your role is in that plan, and some options that you have when responding to an emergency event. Use real-world events and visualize what your response may be. Again, call 911 in any emergency, and when safe to do so, notify any supervisors and inform them of the situation. And provide as much detail as possible. Again, in an emergency, have an understanding of your plan. Have an idea of where you might go if it was unsafe at your event. Would you go into a school building and secure that area? Or would you go away from the field or event to a location that's been pre-identified? Have that understanding and that information before an event takes place is critical in your response. You can report any non-urgent concerns to your direct supervisor or email staysafe@pps.net. Thank you for your time and attention in this training.